Good morning, everybody. This is Jeremy Darnell, GCMS Superintendent, and I wanted to take a few minutes to create a video to try to share a little bit of information about what's been going on, where we're at, and where we're headed. Obviously, things have changed and evolved very quickly. We've all been throwing some curveballs, both in our school life, our personal life, and our professional lives, and we want to try to work through this the best that we can. First of all, I want to say thanks for everybody being really terrific through the closure. Parents for being understanding and trying to stay engaged with the school and with your kids. We need your help. We need you guys to be a part of this. Obviously, with an extension of the school closure and likely to be a further extension, your engagement and participation in this, we're dependent on you, and we want your help, and we want to help you. So one thing I'd ask you to do is find the best way to communicate directly with your child's teacher or teachers. If you can send them an email, if you communicate through Remind, whatever means you have used in the past to try to communicate with them and let them know, most importantly, how can we best serve you? How can we get information to you? Are you capable of getting things through a Remind message or Google applications or email? Can you print off PDFs if we send those things to you? Because what we want to do is get as much information and opportunity into kids' hands as possible, and figuring out the logistics of that right now is our biggest challenge. And we want to do everything we can to do that. To the teachers and staff, I can't tell you how amazed I am at the outreach and efforts that have been made. Despite me asking everybody to shut down over spring break, I still saw a lot of great engagements with kids. Social media has been terrific and seeing things that are very positive. But I'm not naive to the fact that there are still a lot of folks that don't have that access. So thanks to all the teachers and staff for doing their parts, making makeshift home offices, and doing things to try to help. To the kids, this isn't normal. This is hard. Everybody is adjusting. Everybody's trying to figure out how to work within their family unit to make this the best that they can. Some kids work incredibly well independently. Some need a lot of guidance, and making that work is a challenge. I know you've lost a lot of things already that were events that you were looking forward to. I know the potential is there to lose more. And I can assure you that GCMS and its staff, we're going to do everything that we can to try to create opportunities to fill some of those voids where possible. Some of those things will be delayed, other things will be canceled, other things we'll try to do virtually. So we're going to try to address as many of those opportunities as we can to try to give you guys those experiences. Right now the closure dates are through April 7th. It is going to extend. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll be gone longer than April 7th, so please be prepared. We have not gotten any guidance on when that will be. Hopefully we will find out sooner rather than later. As soon as I know, you'll know. I'm trying to get information out to you as soon as possible. But last night was a great example. I received at 8:44 p.m. a message from the state superintendent telling us that moving forward, we are going to be using what's called remote learning days across the state. We have used e-learning days here, and in our e-learning days, some people were getting hard packets, some people were getting digital learning, some people were using Zoom and Skype, FaceTime, those types of things. But now the entire state's going to use remote learning days for every day from March 31st on. Obviously, we've been using e-learning days. I don't anticipate a large change from e-learning to remote learning for staff, students, or families. But like I said, the logistics of getting information to you is going to be the challenge. For our facilities, we have to keep people off the facilities as much as possible, and that includes staff. Because obviously transmission of viruses is one of our key concerns, and that concern extends to the people that work here as well. So we have roped off the elementary playground. The larger spaces, open air spaces, the track, if people are there and using appropriate social distancing, we want you to try to have those opportunities, but we ask that you respect not coming in physical contact with gates and with doorknobs and things like that, just to try to minimize the potential for spread. Our custodial crew is working. They've already disinfected all of the buildings and all the spaces. They will be working on various shifts to ensure that we upkeep all the facilities, so we're ready to go on day one when we can return. For our food service, we've already gathered information on quite a few kids that are going to, and families that are going to be able to come and pick up food. We'll be doing that on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3, starting on March 31st, and we're going to try to extend that until the closure ends. Right now we have quite a few kids that have signed up. If you are still interested and want access to those pickup meals, please call your school's office directly and leave a voicemail or send an email to either one of the social workers or to one of the administrators, and we'll make sure that we get you on the list so that we prepare enough food for you. This is a pretty big undertaking. We average about 350 meals a day on a regular school day, and now we're going to be producing close to 400 for our first drop, and then likely going to increase as time progresses. For schoolwork, and this is really important for kids, just give your best effort. One of the most important things that we do as educators is provide feedback to our kids so that they understand what they're doing well and what they're doing poorly, and that's going to be really hard in this model. We'll find ways to do it for some, but some it's going to be a challenge. So just stay engaged and try. Give effort. Use all the resources that you have to do what you can. One thing that's important, I'm sure, is at the heart of a lot of our high school kids' minds is what about credits for high school? What about GPA? What about grades? I will reassure you right now that we will not incorporate any policy that is going to have an adverse effect on your ability to graduate, be prepared to apply for colleges, that will negatively affect your GPA. We're going to make sure that those things are right. The state has said they encourage grading, but only grading that improves or increases a child's opportunity. And I can tell you that if and what we grade, we will make sure that those things only have a positive effect on kids and their grades. Grades right now just aren't important. Learning is. Staying engaged in learning is important. Parents, like I said before, I just want you to do your best to contribute to your kids. Do your best to stay engaged. Like I just said a minute ago, feedback is important. Yes, it's important that they do the work, but it's also important if the teachers or we can't get to them to provide them feedback, sit down with them and go through the answers and the questions. Even if it's content that's hard for you, the engagement is more important. Them knowing that you're putting time and investment into the learning that's going on is equally as important as the learning itself. So if you have the means to do that, please do. If that is an older sibling, if that is you, someone else in your household, that's great. I do want to also, though, encourage minimal transfer. Don't have tutors coming into the house or other kids. We still want to respect social distancing and the stay-at-home order. One thing that we've always struggled with across our society in this community is time. We have so many families and children that are so actively engaged, and we've had a lot of things that we haven't had time for, or we didn't invest as much time into some of the things that in the grand scheme of life have high priority, like learning, like education. And right now we have time. So this is a great opportunity for both parents and kids to invest a little bit more. Even if it's things as simple as reading, practicing math facts for our younger kids. If it's high school kids, doing more research and figuring out what your next steps are. If that's going to be to go into continued education, if that's going to be to go into the trades, you have a great opportunity to really dig in, research, and figure out what's next. Because at some point we're going to move forward, and we have time to think about those things. At the end of the day, I'm proud of what we've done, how we've done it. Over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to continue to try to find ways to provide opportunities for teaching and learning from GCMS School District to the kids and families that we serve, and we want your help in that. Again, be sure that you reach out, communicate in any way that you can as families to your child's teacher to let them know how you can best receive information and what we can do to support you. Whether that's academic, whether that's food, whether that's social, emotional, those are all things that we try hard every day to provide, and that is not going to stop. It's not going to be the same, but it's not going to stop. I thank you, appreciate your time and attention, and know that we're here to help. GCMS is an incredibly strong community. It was before this crisis, it is during this crisis, and it will be afterwards. So keep doing the best that you can, and know that we are all going to be always Falcon proud.